Good evening, students.
Good evening, sir.
Shall we start or should wait for 2 3 minutes so that others may join? We should wait 2 3 minutes and thereafter we will start today's session so that others also may join the class. Yes, so yesterday we have discussed many things about early child care education, preschool education and their historical background. And today's unit is second, that is education for national development. Although we have taken a little overview how and why education is important for national development, because the every child is the asset for nation as well as national development. So quickly, uh, yes, slide is visible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, but you're audible, but the slide when you change, no, it doesn't reflect here.
It is not changing.
No, right now it is showing the first
Only first.
education for national development. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's changed.
Is it changing?
Yes, sir. Now first slide is visible.
Only first, not today's discussion.
Yeah, that one. Today's
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah. So in unit second, we will discuss the dimensions of national development. What are the dimensions for national development? And what is the relationship between education and national development? Special reference to preschool education, because we will focus only preschool education as a wider. Further role of education in national development. Importance of preschool education is national empowerment, that we are going to discuss in unit 2. So we all know that education is the most important weapon for any kind of development. It may be psychological, emotional, physical, intellectual, whatever it is. So education is important for human being, all human being. So education is national development. So we will discuss the meaning of what is national development. So can anybody tell? Anybody can draw light what is national development?
When every person in the country is healthy and educated.
Yes, yes. There is a if the person is healthy and educated means he or she is a contributor for national development. So a broad indicator of national development means health, education, and this income group and the profession. These are the indicators for national development. Dimensions of national development and their relation to education. So economic dimensions हैं, political dimensions हैं, social dimensions हैं, cultural dimensions हैं. These are the four dimensions which are important for national development, and these all economic dimensions also related to education, political dimension is also related to education, social dimension is also related to education, as well as cultural dimension is also related to education. So these are the very in overview base. Otherwise, we will discuss these things in a broader perspective in next coming slides. Needs to invest in education for national development. What is the need for investment in education for national development? Because the education is the most important weapon. Education is the most important process for getting the national development at the top. Or we must say, without education, we cannot even think for national development. Education development and preschool education is directly linked because, as we discussed yesterday, also that pre-education is the base or backbone or kind of this pillar for national development. So if any country does not have preschool education system in proper way, that we cannot even think, we cannot imagine for national development. So education, especially pre-school education, is directly linked for national development. So this is the little overview how education is important for national development. Education is an agency for social change and process. Education has threefold roles to play in relation to social process. Like number one, to conserve as far as possible all the good aspect of cultural and social heritage. Second, adjust to changing situation, whatever changing, it may be the biological, it may be the geographical, whatever change. Then, with the help of education, the human being is ready or will ready to cope up with all these changes. To create a new system of education for social process progress. The socialization is a continuous process, and therefore education is also in the changing process. In ancient time there was the different kind of mode of education. In medieval there is a different mode of education. In the modern age there is a different kind of mode of education. Even very recently in COVID time, we have changed our education system to digital mode, and that was the dire need for changing of our education system in the present situations, which were very difficult time, but we could cope up with the changing education system, because if we could not have get that kind of changing environment, so that our students, our learners should become busy in the education system, then definitely scenario would have something different. So it is a education is also changing. Change in education process is a continuous, because it's totally depend on social progress. When the social structure is in kind of progress, that definitely education system will progress. And one other example we may say that our national education policy 2020 is the result of social progress or as well as social need. So it is a continuous process in change in education system. Education helps in transformation of society. You know, education is the at center place, and society is the all around the education. But education is depend on social structure, which type of social system is there. Accordingly, education system has to be changed, and even it is different from one state to another state to another country. So it is a as per the society need. So how education help in the transformation of society? That is, education help in realizing the ideas of democracy, secularism, nationalism, and integration. Without education, the person will not be able how what is democracy, what is secularism, what is national integration. So education helps a lot to understand these things. Education helps in better process of agriculture. You know, even in India, there is a 75% population depends on farming. But with the help of education, nowadays farmers are getting more income, more yield of crops because they are using the education for agriculture purpose, industrialization purpose, and other related things which are directly, indirectly related to agricultural things. So education helps in better process of agriculture, in industrialization, in becoming an information based, and thereafter in transiting towards a knowledge society. Education is expected to change the value system of the pupil and reconstruct it in the context of current need of the society, and thus create a pupil and urge for social change. As I rightly said well before, that education is based on social status, social structure, which type of social structure is there. Education, you will find there is a slide, there may be a slide, different, even it is very important for social change. Education provides necessary training in skill and
Sir, please change the slide, sir.
is it not coming?
No, it is still in the today's discussion.
Just a minute.
And now it's changed to the fourth slide.
Okay, I was discussing this only, but why it is not in full screen? Can anybody tell is it changing now? Second, third. fourth. Am I audible?
Sir, it's not changing.
It's not changing, but in my,
No, now it is showing the fifth slide.
is it changing now? Yes.
Once you change, then afterwards, now you have kept it in fifth, but when you change, it doesn't reflect here.
No, no. Is it changing? Is it third now?
No, it's still in the fifth.
Okay. Now,
No, sir. Yeah, now it changed. Yeah. Yeah, now it is, I think, changing.
अभी
हाँ अभी फिफ्थ में है, फिफ्थ स्लाइड में है.
what is happening today? Still not changing.
No, now it, when you were changing, it was happening. Now, right now, it is in the fifth.
Right now, still in fifth.
Yeah, still now in fifth.
Just wait a few
Yeah,
minutes.
now in fourth.
Is it visible?
Now it is in fourth slide.
But properly visible?
Yeah,
Fourth. Is it fifth?
yeah, fifth.
Okay. So we were discussing that how education helps in transformation of society. So we have discussed about 3 points that further education provides necessary training and skills and thus produce the manpower needed for specialized job in industrial, business, agriculture, education and research and further many establishment that happens because of education only because education is help for training and kind of skill development in the human being. Education is considered to be an important means of assisting people in cultural thinking necessary for social reform. Cultural thinking means folk dance and this singing and then arts and then other activities which are related to critical thinking and as well as cultural thinking. It makes us aware of our weakness and overcome them. Yes, education also helps to understand what are our weak point, what are our strength, and if the any weak point is there, how we can overcome from them. So this is the education helps in transformation of society. So next is how education is helpful for empowerment. Empowerment means both. It may be the woman empowerment, it may be the uh, man empowerment. Now, but now in this slides we are discussing only for child who is 0 to 6 age, how that education can be helpful for empowerment of the child. So empowerment include the following capabilities. One is the ability to make decisions about personal or collective circumstances, the ability to access information and resource for decision making, ability to consider a range of options from which to close, which to choose. There may be so many options among the child, but education helps which option is good for him or her. Ability to exercise assertiveness in collective decision making, having positive thinking about the ability to make change, ability for improving personal and collective circumstances, ability to influence others perception, though through communication, education, and other engagement. A child, if a child is a good, having good communication and good knowledge, so then that person can influence the other perception about the things involving in the growth process and change that is never ending and self initiative, increasing one's ability for critical thinking to sort our right and wrong, what is wrong, what is right. A person can differentiate with the help of critical thinking. So education is help for empowering the child by following these ways. National empowerment becomes a reality, though attainment, like if the, as I said, that empowerment is directly linked with national development, uh, and now the national empowerment become a reality by attaining these following means economic development, development of science and technology, development of human resources, progress of women and weaker section of society, reduction of corruption and other immoral acts, and strengthening the educational system. So by following these, we can say that our education system is capable for empowerment of human being, and if the human being is empowered, then it is directly linked for with the national development. So finally, education is a important tools for national development as well as empowerment of the child or human being. Empowerment and early child education. So how these are two linked with each other. If we say the empowerment is there, then definitely early childhood education system should also be having kind of good status. So how these are linked with each other? A child while attending the preschools or other centers providing early child care education or preschool education, whatever is the known, no, learn social skill while interacting with teachers and peer groups. So if the child having age 0 to 6 year is attending any kind of early child care education, or it may be the preschool, it may be the kindergarten, whatever is the name there, they all learn the social activities, skilling, and other things. Even they interact with teachers and peer groups, so their socialization is the part of our education system. Just a minute. Yes. So preschool education and early child care education lead to the empowerment of all children, and especially of those who are from marginalized group. National empowerment is directly related to the national development. If the pupil, if the child is empowered, definitely they will lead for the national development. A sound education system will lead to national empowerment, and this begin with the endeavors to the provide sound preschool education. So these we can say that empowerment, whether it is a child, it is a man, it is a woman, is linked with early childhood care education, because if the education system is strong, then definitely by the strong education system, the pupil will be empowered. If the empowered pupils are empowered, and definitely it will lead for further national development as well as development of the society. So both are the linked with each other. So this was the unit 2. Unit 3 is visible. Slides is moving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So please take 30-second break, then we will start. Yes, so unit third is about perspective of preschool education. What is the perspective of preschool education? See, by discussing these topic, one has to understand that what is preschool education system. There may be the different name. That may be the kindergarten. That may be the preschool. That may be the early child care education. Number one. Number two, to whom we this early child care education or preschool education is. It is for 0 to 6 year age child. And the third is by whom. So teacher or faculty involved in this, they are known as preschool teacher or trainer. And this kind of education is mostly given by both formal, informal, and non-formal education system. So we will discuss these all three kind of education system in next slides. So what is, yes, what is today's discussion? So first we will understand distinguish between the types of education, significance of education for democratic society, importance of education for inclusion, education for human development, and last significance of education for knowledge society. So we are going to discuss these important topics in this unit 3. So let us take, so these are the types of education system as far as which is the even presently being used by our country. So education generally speaking is of three types. One is formal education, second is informal education, and third is non-formal education. Formal education is required for teachers, buildings, syllabus, curriculum, and infrastructure. These all are required for formal education. Informal education is which is being given by your mother, parents, and your peer group, your society, and non-formal education by which you are all enrolled in a system, means that may be through distance mode, and that may be the other kind of education system which does not require attendance and presence, etc. So these are the three mode of education. One is formal education, informal education, non-formal education. We will discuss in detail. So first is formal education. Formal education is planned with a particular and in view. It is provided by organization like school, college, and other similar institutions which are established by the society with some goals. So as I said that formal education require kind of building infrastructure and laboratory, because formal education is given by institutions or colleges which are established for a specific purpose. Means if the school is established for pre-education, that school will known as preschool. If a school is built for secondary education, senior secondary education, to accordingly their purpose will be different, and with some specific goals, engineering, medical, and all. So formal education is in a planned manner. So next, formal education is limited to a specific period. It may be the 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. As you are aware that this pre-primary school education is for in a four different category, and by attaining 6 year age. After that, primary education system start. It takes 1 to 5. Thereafter, this elementary education 6 to 8, then secondary 9th, 10th, and senior secondary 11, 12th, and further tertiary, and it is also known as higher education. So all formal education system is limited to a specific period or stage. It is provided according to the certain set rules and regulations. Means rules means how much syllabus has to cover, what are the other content in the curriculum, and what should be the type of examination, and how the examination process will uh, and in what manner, when it is a kind of term end or kind of semester wise. So there are set norms and regulations which are required for formal education. Formal education has a well planned and systematically organized curriculum. The curriculum is based on the predetermined aims and objectives of the school or education provided. These aims conform to the needs of society and the states. So, as we are discussing continuously, formal education requires some well-defined curriculum, and that curriculum will be as per the need of society and state. Formal education is imparted by qualified teachers. They are supposed to be knowledgeable, or in other words, they all should be trained. If you are looking the preschool education system, for that trained teachers are required. If you are looking primary education, for that also BTC, STC, JBT also required. For this elementary and secondary B.Ed or other similar courses required, means that teacher has to be trained as per the school level or school status. Include activities inside and outside of the classroom. While many activities take place within the classroom and similar setting like labs, many of other activities formal education take outside, but holistically it is known as formal education, like field trip, educational exhibitions, educational fair. These are the part of formal education. Although the mode of knowledge by trips, educational exhibitions may be the part of other, that is informal education, but it is a part of formal education. Observes stringent rules, means formal education institution impose stringent rule for academic and non-academic activities, like age of admission is compulsory, mode of admission, time arrived, place of instructions, how it will be evaluated, and all formal education directly indirectly are governed by some specific government rule. So this is formal education. Next is informal education. Informal education is incidental and spontaneous. There is no conscious efforts involved in providing it. Informal education is neither pre-planned and nor deliberate, because informal education is gained by each and every one, by home, by peer group, by society. So these are the kind of informal education. Unlike formal education, informal education is not imparted by any specialized agency like school or college. Means informal education does not require any school and boundary wall and any lab laboratory, because it is a incidental and spontaneous, and the main teachers are peer group, mother, father, parents, grandmother. These are the agencies from which learners get informal education. Sorry. Informal education may not always result in right kind of education. It does not require that you are first, second, third, because there is no evaluation system in informal education. So there is no need kind of evaluation in information system, informal education. One might get wrong information, message, and learn undesirable things like stealing while in a company of peer and other who are influence him or her. Means although result is not, evaluation is not there in informal system, but impact or longer impact may affect the person who are getting wrong information, informal education, like stealing or telling lie or hiding their things. These are also kind of informal education which are not good. Yes. So next is non-formal education. This is the third category of education. This is known as non-formal education. Unlike informal education, which is unstructured, spontaneous, and without formality, non-formal education is structured and planned, but outside the formal education system. As I said that you all are enrolled in open and distance learning system. This is a kind of non-formal education system because it is planned, it is structured, but it does not require the things as are required for formal education. Non-formal education is consciously and deliberately organized and systematically implemented. Non-formal education is organized for a heterogeneous group but with homogeneous learning needs. Means, for example, in open and distance learning, there is no age bar. The person having different age group may take admission in non-formal education, but the learning methodology, study material, and support service will be homogeneous, means will be same for all learners having different kind of age group, different kind of region, different kind of category, different kind of structure, different kind of social structure. So group may be heterogeneous, but learning methodology will be homogeneous or similar to all. So this is the non-formal education. This is the little differentiation between formal, informal, and non-formal that we have learned. Just we summarize that formal education, school, college, university, institutes are required. For informal, home, family, peer group, library, museum, radio, television, or trips, etc. Non-formal, adult and social education center like open and distance learning, seminar and workshops, open universities, open schools, in-service training programs. These are the non-formal examples of non-formal education. Education for a democratic society. How education and why education is important for democratic society. Although it is important for all kind of societies, formal and non-formal education have a definite role in the preparing citizenship for a democratic society. Democracy is considered as a way of life, meaning thereby that the individual should have the freedom to think independently and exercise his or her judgment freely with regard to economic, educational, political, and ethical issues, but at the same times be rational in thinking and tolerant towards divergent views. Means others may not affect it by using your freedom. Education help in imbibing the following democratic values like intellectual integrity, to shift truth from falsehood and fact from propaganda, reject fantasism, scientific attitude of mind to think objectively and be free of unhealthy biases, open mind to accept new ideas. This is the important role of education in democratic societies. So, what is the role of preschool education in democratic society? Because this is a very specific. In previous slide, we were discussing the role of education in democratic society, but it is a very specific that what is the role of preschool education in democratic society. So, early childhood education imbibes many value in the child and the value needed for democracy like openness, for different views, dignity of labor, cooperation, tolerance for differences, if any, respect for all, and the like can be cultivated through preschool education because preschool education is the basis and first ladder of education. So it is the import. It has very important role for democratic society. Next is democracy has to be grounded in the way of life right from childhood, and this requires education which can be initiated right from the preschool level through participatory practices. Education and societies are interlinked, as we all are aware, to give a shape to the children and encourage to work cooperatively in the group situations. So this is the also role of preschool education. Further, preschool age is the period when children start coming out of their egocentrism, and there is a transition from towards reciprocity. Working and playing in a group can help in nurturing values like tolerance and respect for others, members of the family and nearby society, and their views, open mindedness, and acceptance of differences. So, this is the important level of child who just start to grasp to attain knowledge, attain ideas, attain creativity. So this is important age, which is that is 6 0 to 6 year age, or most precisely last 4 to 6 years most important. Children should also be taught their rights, what are their rights, and even what are their duties. Also, it should also be taught in preschool education. So here the role of teachers become very important, as we all are the teachers. So we should be aware what is the role of teachers in specifically pre-primary school education system. Teacher needs to listen to them, encourage their participation, allow them to speak means give proper motivation. Then learner should speak, child should speak. That's a learner, a child should not kind of introvert. Teach them and to listen to different views point of, because the child may have different viewpoint about the particular things, and above all think and lead to the development of democratic values in the children. May it is the duty of teacher, then he or she should inculcate the democratic value among the children. So this is the very important that all teachers should be aware about their role in preschool education in democratic society. So, significance of preschool education. What is the significance of preschool education? Although we have discussed it in previous sessions, but again we may summarize that education, preschool education is important for physical and motor development, emotional development, intellectual development, language development, social development, moral development, and aesthetic development. And there may be some activity, means playing together. The learners or child may get involved for preparing some specific uh, creative instrument or creative things, so that the cooperations of all child should be present. Or you may engage in making kind of project, this based on language or mathematical 1 to 10 or counting or uh, arithmetical rules. You may utilize their creativity or make them involved in group activities, so that their all kind of development could take place in right direction, means physical and motor, emotional, intellectual, language, social, moral, and aesthetic development. So this is the role of pre-education, preschool education, for further development of the child. Education for inclusion. Inclusion means all is one. There is no diversity, there is no difference. So education is only and only one which can be utilized for inclusion process of the society. So how it works for inclusion? It works on principle of inclusion, including all, including those who are differently able. The school in the neighborhood is regarded as for as the first option for the admitting any exceptional or disabled child, so that these children are mainstreamed with those who are not exceptional and disabled. Means all inclusion means all. That person may be from different strata, from different areas, from different physical competencies. Means person may be disabled and person is totally fit. So club both kind of group. This is the called as inclusion. In the inclusive setting, children with the all respect, all the shaded of exceptionalities and disabilities get opportunities, similar opportunities for shared educational experience while pursuing individually appropriate learning objective with necessary teaching learning strategies, supports, and accommodations needed making needed for making inclusion a success. Means learner having disabilities or not make give the proper and equal attention to them. This comes under the inclusion. It help in putting the disabled children into the mainstream to the of the educational system instead of separating or segregating them as it happened while educating them in a special school. So there is no need to having kind of a special school because both type of child should have given equal opportunities, equal attention, equal rights. That comes under the inclusion. It aim to make the disabled children learn the art of living and get adjusted to the real life situations as independently as possible by erasing their feeling of insufficiency or limitedness, and also make other children consider them as a peer. Means make friend. Many exceptional children may be talented in certain areas. Means some disabled person may be talented in crafting, drawing, singing, and other things, instrumental. And society can tap the talent of these individuals as they become productive members of the society. So it is the duty of teachers as well as school, preschool education system to identify their talent and encourage them getting more mastery in their particular areas and skill. Education for the knowledge society. So there are 4 5 important factors which are directly indirectly involved for development of knowledge society. First is knowledge management, access to new knowledge. Innovations is also important for knowledge society. Search of new knowledge means kind of new knowledge always should be welcomed, whatever it is coming from which place and which source. Updating the knowledge and method of acquiring knowledge, these all are the important factor and which is deal by education for knowledge society. Next. So this was the unit third. Let us take 1 minute break and we will start further. Yes, so our fourth unit is aims of education and preschool education. And this fourth unit, we will discuss what are the importance of education and what are the aims of education and aims of childhood education. So first, what is the aims of education? The aims of education are many, like education for development of individual. It is the aim or kind of goals of education that every individual should have get education for their further development. Education for social development. If individual is empowered, individual is development. So accordingly, social development will take place. So education aims is for social development. Education for imparting knowledge. Education for earning livelihood. Yes, while getting knowledge, then it should be converted kind of earning and kind of economic status. Education for harmonious development. Education for life skill development. By education, people know how to live in the society, how to act, how to react. So it is important for learning life skill. Education for moral development. Education for spiritual development, because as per the Indian mythology, education is important for spiritual and ultimate goal to get spiritual, to get spirituality. So education aim is spiritual development also. Further education for cultural development. By getting the education, the child choose their cultural heritage and get built up in their particular cultural activity, mean kinds singing, dancing, and our the previous heritage, to understand these our cultural heritage. So education is important for cultural development. Early childhood education and what is their aims. The various types of aims of early childhood care education, like early child care education help the child to explore, investigate, and be creative as they have sense of wonder and amazement. So early child care education build up the child that the child may investigate, may creative, and may use and the creativity for further development their own or the society. Early child care education help the child to establish good relationship with adult, means parents, that may be the parents, that may be their elders, peers, and enjoy communicating with them. So this is the role or aim of early childhood care education. You must have seen in Anganwadis, their Anganwadi workers also teach the group of children that how to behave with each other, how to act, how to react, and how to respect their elders. Early childhood care education help the child for developing a range of skill and competencies. They are learning to pay attention, reason, and solve the problems, and can with the support and guidance of adult, means adults may be their teacher, maybe their parents, may they be their elders, means brother and sisters, to get new knowledge and to uh, get associated with new information. So this is comes under the early child care education aim. Early childhood care education provides platform to the child to enjoy stories. The teachers and the Anganwadi workers used to tell the stories, the moral stories. So early childhood care education provide the platforms to the every child to get enjoy stories, rhymes, music, and make them physically independent. Means one child may enjoy the rhymes, other child may enjoy the music, and other may enjoy the story. Their taste, their interest may be different. So and enjoy physical play. Means early childhood care education also provide the platform that every individual may get involved in physical activities like playing with instrument, playing with each others, playing other like small group plays are there, so they can involve physically and mentally in the physical activities and physical plays. Early childhood education. See, World Health Organization and UNICEF defined has given some list of core set of life skills which are as follows as per the aims of early childhood care education. First is decision making, means every child should have how to make decision. Problem solving skills should be developed. Creative thinking should be developed. Critical thinking should be developed. Effective communication should be known to each and every child. Interpersonal relationship skills, self awareness means know to yourself who I am. Empathy with others, coping with emotions, with so what is sad, what is happiness, what is so coping with stress. So these all should be covered by early childhood education as per the recommendation of WHO and UNICEF. This is Unit 4. So, Unit 5 about nature of knowledge. So what is nature of knowledge? Although we are getting kind of overview what is education, what is pre-education, and what is the linkage between development, national development, empowerment, and how it works for individual development or which kind of individual development should take place in the early childhood care education system. So this is nature of knowledge. So in this unit, we will discuss the nature of knowledge. What is the nature of knowledge, and what are the modern views on knowledge constructions, appropriate strategies and method for facilitating knowledge constructions in preschools, the nature of preschool curriculum. So these topics we will discuss. So first is the nature of knowledge. Knowledge is very difficult to define because every information cannot be knowledge. Knowledge may be considered as awareness, expertise, skill, and like gained through education and experience. For example, when we get information that ice is cold, we have understand about ice and about coldness. Information thus process through understanding that is attachment of meaning, analysis, judgment, then becomes knowledge. So every information, every small and piece of information cannot be knowledge. That should be a kind of complete bouquet. Means just for example, if the you are giving ice cube to the child, that he or she may aware that about the coldness, that it is cold and it is ice. So this is about the knowledge. The nature of knowledge, there are different types of knowledge as per the our syllabus. Means knowledge may be explicit, knowledge may be tacit, and many more. Means factual, that may be conceptual, that may be procedural, that may be metacognitive. So there are various type of knowledge. Let us take what is explicit knowledge. This type of knowledge can be expressed through symbols like words, figures, formulae, principles, and so on, and can be shared. For instance, the knowledge of case of this eclipse the function of a steam engine and so on, how the steam engine works. So this is kind of explicit knowledge. What is tacit? The this kind of knowledge cannot be expressed adequately, cannot be expressed. It is highly personal and hard to formalize, hence it is difficult to communicate or shared with others. Means explicit knowledge can be shared with others, how machine can work, how uh, other what are the our environmental system. So this knowledge is explicit but tacit. It is very personalized. It cannot be shared. It cannot be communicated other. The kind of knowledge is therefore subjective. Means their ideas, values, insight. These are the their mental model, convictions, intuitions. These are very personalized and it cannot be shared. What kind of intuition person have? Knowledge of teaching is said to be tacit as teachers experience field situations and other form of their own understanding and attitude. It comes the tacit. Just a minute. 1 minute, please.
Sir, your mic is off.
Sorry?
Your mic was off.
Yeah, yeah. So the further this factual means fact based, that India is democratic country, that is fact. This kind of knowledge is known as factual. Conceptual, any concept based knowledge is known as conceptual. Then further what is procedural. There is the knowledge comes following some procedure, and the first last is metacognitive knowledge means which is not our in our control, means what is God and what is the ultimate aim of the life. So this all comes the metacognitive knowledge. Yeah. So next is modern views on knowledge constructions. So constructivism is a concept, although we will discuss in detail in coming slides in unit, sorry, block 2 and 3. So constructivism is based on view that learning is a cognitive process, and this was originally developed by Jean Piaget in 1980, and that idea through assimilation and accommodation in the existing schema. So Piaget was the founder of this constructivism, and he has given id, ego, and superego concept that we will discuss further. And he has also categorized the age of child, means pre-stage, formal stage, operational stage. So all this uh, identified by Piaget, and it is very important that Piaget has experimented all these things on his own child. Then social constructivism. This view take constructivism further and say that the knowledge is constructed in a social context, as we were discussing that education is directly linked with the social change, social needs. So knowledge is also linked with change in social context and change in social improvement and social needs. So this what was the this view take constructivism further and say that the knowledge is constructed in a social context, that is within a social setting, and Vygotsky is the founder of that particular social constructivism concept. So Vygotsky also given has some theoretical overview and so theoretical ideas we will also discuss, and he has given kind of triangular development areas, that how the child attain the knowledge and how it is, how, what is the role of social and how the both are linked with each other. Vygotsky social constructivism paved the way of pedagogical reform, like importance of interactive learning and group learning and so on. So these constructivism and social constructivism we will discuss, and this is a kind of overview, small overview what is constructivism and what is social constructivism. Constructivism is identified Piaget, and social constructivism identified and defined by the Vygotsky, and we will further discuss in very detail. So collaborative learning strategy. Cooperative learning techniques have following benefits, and it is given by the Kumar and Nosat it, by in his research, that cooperative or cooperative learning means promote student learning, increase student retention. Retention means the learner should be present in each and every day and in every session. Enhance student satisfaction with their learning experience. Help students develop skills in oral communications, develop social skills, promote student self-esteem. What is I, and help to promote positive relations. Positive relations mean with their peer group, with their teachers, with their elders, with their society. So this is the cooperative learning. Learning, although learning is a very important term, because it's directly or indirectly related with the knowledge and education. So what is learning? Learning is intimate, intimately related to the acquisition of knowledge. Means acquisition of knowledge is known as learning. Learning is the means through which we acquire not only the skill and knowledge. Means in learning we get skilled and knowledgeable, but at the same time other things, value, attitude and emotional reactions also comes under the learning. Three factors are involved in the learning as identified Kumar and Nosat in 2008. One is psychological factor, second is physiological factor, and third is environmental factor. Psychological factor means like interest, previous knowledge, motivation. Physiological means good health, motor skills, maturity means appropriate age. These comes under the physiological factor. And third is environmental factor, like which type of environment, what is the kind of teachers, what is the kind of teaching material, what is the overall surrounding, comes under the environmental factor. So learning, after learning, we should be aware what is learning. Learning is relatively permanent change in behavior due to experience. Learning is a relatively permanent change in mental association due to experience. So basically, if we club both, then learning is permanent change in behavior as well as mental associations, and that all due to experience. So, what is the role of teachers in learning or in further education? The pre-primary teachers, when we are studying preschool or early child care education, so we are talking about pre-primary teachers must be equipped with the understanding of following basic principles, and that was recommended by the NCF 2005 National Curriculum Framework 2005, developed by NCRT. And according to NCF 2005, what should be the role of teachers? Play as the basis for learning. Means play should be linked with learning. Art as the basis of for education, recognition of the special features of children, cognitive development, blend the textual means basic literacy and numeracy, and the cultural dimensions like song, rhymes, dramas. They all should be taken care by the teachers. If the child is having interest in these, then individual must be given proper attention to getting uh, mastery in a particular field. Mix of formal and informal interaction. This is the duty of teacher. Scope of experience of both familiarity and challenge in the everyday routines means every child should be made aware that what are the day to day activities and what you should do in changing environment if comes any. Privacy of experience rather than expertise, developmentally appropriate practice and flexibility, use of local material means when we are talking about the circle, then we should use the local examples. Means shape of sun, this is this the shape of sun is circle. And even many kitchen items like plate, round plate, it is a type of circle. So these local things may be utilized for further learning of education. Integration of health and well-being based on healthy habits. This is also the role of teachers. Then eight intelligences. Gardner identified eight intelligences in 1993. So what are the eight intelligences? Means one is body, kinetic intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal and interpersonal both are different. Local mathematical intelligence, musical intelligence, spatial intelligence, and naturalistic intelligence. So these are the 8 intelligences identified by the Gardner. So this is from my side. If you have any query, any questions, you may ask, please. Floor for you. Otherwise, we will wind up or we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. with new topics. Should we close? Okay. Have a good day. Good night to all of you.
Thank you, sir.